However, I would like to make a motion that this goes back to staff to meet with council to resolve any property disputes or any other ordinance or previous use permit issues before it's presented back to us in a less ambiguous manner.
Where this is a private road involved, how does that affect
I don't know how I can make it less ambiguous at this point.
Andy?
When you say council, I thought you'd think of city council. No, I agree totally, that it
City
should go back to
staff,
legal
legal
counsel.
Yeah,
That's being a private road?
Where the city can become involved is by and that conditional
right.
cannot get involved in disputes between owners. That would certainly be potentially a civil litigation matter that the city would have no part of. In terms of what is before the commission tonight is an application to amend their current conditional use permit. That, if you all vote to, recommend the city council not approve that amended conditional use permit, it doesn't mean it goes away. It just means
Right.
that those new amendments aren't added to it.
Right.
And if you do, either change what amendments you require of that conditional use permit, because the issue is that it's being used not as a residence in a residential area, so that's why.
Right.
In terms of use of a driveway between owners of property, that's a civil matter between parties, not for the city to get involved in.
What I'm hearing is that the conditions that are outlining things such as hours of operation and fencing, they are something that we can have conditions, but something saying you shall park here on a private lane or you can't park here, that's outside what we should be.
You can put some conditions on the use of the property and potentially limit parking, which I think PAWS has attempted to do, at least in number 11. But again, where PAWS may run into an issue is if they are in violation of the easement in some way. That's a dispute between PAWS and the property owner. Permit does not address.
Mr.
We mentioned that this is a residential neighborhood and that PAWS is using a residential piece of property for something other than intended. Therefore, we have the conditional use permit. You've got a case of a good organization trying to do good things, but yet the other residents who are there legitimately in a residential area being disturbed, annoyed, have problems. So that's really what I see right now as being the issue, and not so much the number of cats or fencing and everything else. I understand what that says, but I think we're avoiding the bigger issue.
Well, it may be, and after listening to Mr. Mullen speak, it occurred to me that it may be that whole condition about traffic and parking, the condition 11, and maybe that doesn't even belong as part of this conditional use permit. Maybe we don't even want to go down that road because there might be some legalities that we're not aware of.
That's why I made
that
the
affect
motion
that.
for staff and city council to resolve that outside of this meeting and then represent the package to us after that's been resolved.
But I don't think our council's going to get involved in a private
He's
dispute
talking about legal
between
counsel.
neighbors.
Yeah, I don't
Legal
care.
counsel's not going to get involved, not the cities. Paul's representation and Ms. Nunnally's representation will have to figure that out, or Mr. Gora's or Norman's.
The only thing we've got here is the number 11, which says volunteers shall park on the property. It addresses volunteers. It does not address any visitors or anything like that. Volunteers shall park on the property. It doesn't say how many volunteers. We didn't say any type of number. It's rather loose. It's a loose,
Right.
a loose condition.
Yeah, the only condition is that it's not gonna block the driveway.
Right,
But
right.
how many cars does it take to block the driveway?
Right.
I would say probably 3 is about the most that you could put there without blocking the driveway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could look at it that way. But I'm just wondering, after hearing Mr. Mullins, if we even want to tackle that issue at all.
Yeah, the more I sat here and listened, I'm feeling a little bit like maybe we don't have a place here, some of this. I'm just a little bit cautious to know.
I mean,
Just
that was the
exactly what we can
visitation
do.
we
Yeah.
need to look at. We
Yeah.
need to look at the landscaping clearly,
Right.
clearly.
Right.
But the traffic is murkier because we never addressed it the first time around.
I think so.
And we're trying to address it this time.
Right.
That's my whole purpose of bringing this here, was to address it in some sort of way, but it doesn't look like we're going to. Well,
Would-
there's not agreement on that issue.
So is there, with the private lane, is there a right-of-way or some sort of easement where they could put a sign without being on the neighbor's property to direct packages a certain way to say no visitors, or visitors by appointment only, no parking, no thoroughfare, whatever we want to put on
Directional
there?
signs are allowed, but keep in mind, we are in a residential area, so the amount of signage available is very limited.
They could put a sign on the private lane, though. Norman, the owner, could put a sign, right, on the private lane.
Well, I mean, if it's directional in nature, yeah.
Say, pause deliveries at the gate.
Right.
Only. Pause deliveries at the gate only. That's pretty direct. Maybe eliminate packages on somebody's doorstep. I don't know.
But the hours of delivery.
Can I ask how many deliveries? 'Cause I don't know how.
Sorry, yeah,
Because I just moved, I lived on Messick, and my packages are still, they're going to the ball. So I was just curious, because we don't have anywhere where it says people to deliver packages actually to that property at all. Nothing should be. No mailbox. You have no mailbox, you have a PO box.
Since we're all speaking out loud, you can always.
Well,
yeah.
address that says deliver to the backyard, deliver to the gate.
So, and since the public hearing is over, I'm going to go ahead and just, we can consult among the planning commission. If we have questions, we will absolutely ask.
What we have before us tonight, what we have here presented to us, actually, I could vote for this, but I don't look for it to solve the issue, is what I'm looking at. I don't see it solving the issue. The issue to me is murky, and how to solve it. It just seems like to me